Part 2. Princess Diana and Princess Charles divorce.
Girl, yes. I'm gonna tell them about Camilla. That's what. Yes, I got the facts here. You tuned in? Okay. We get into the part right now where we're gonna talk about Camilla. Okay. Alright. Thank you for tuning in. Alright, girl. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna tell them. Okay. Alright. Bye. What's up, guys? I'm back. I had to get my call in. My girlfriend was like, did you tell them like I was like, yes, I told them. She wanted to make sure I got the facts straight. Because the information, we have to say alleged, even though a lot of it is known facts. Anyway, it's alleged. Okay. So, gradually over a course of 18 months, Camilla and Charles' friendship turned into a romantic relationship. It's even said that Charles pursued Camilla relentlessly, sending her elaborate love notes. However, when Charles left in England to serve in the Royal Navy, little Missy Camilla went off and got engaged to her boyfriend Andrew Parker Boyles, who she had been dating on and off again since she was 17 years old. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I grew up reading romance novels. That's my thing. I read historicals. I read all of that. I read back when... I'm surprised I ain't read a romance novel back when dinosaurs was dating. Baby, I read it all. How the rich man meets his secretary, fall in love. I did all that. I read it all growing up. I was a complete bookworm. Anyway, however, nonetheless, Charles and Camilla stayed friends as she became a mother and he searched for his future wife. My supervisor told me that it had been rumored that he had to find a virgin. So that's probably why he set eyes on, and that's alleged, on Diana when she was younger, because it's like, okay, I know that I want this mature woman, because obviously Camilla was making boss moves. She's like, okay, you gone. I've been with this man here. I'm going back to the man that I know. So they both was young and they fell in love, but they had other obligations that they had to go by. But one thing, we're going to stick with this. The heart wants what the heart wants. Remember that now. The heart wants what the heart wants. Just like God says, guard your heart. Because your heart is your heart. It tells you what's right. It tells you what's wrong. If you go against it, you're going to lose yourself. Okay? All right. Okay, Charles wrote a letter to an unidentified correspondent. Charles wrote how awful... Oh, God. Let me just say the one thing. Prior was the initial meeting that Charles had with Camilla Parker Boyles, and that took place way before he met Diana. Okay, so that's why I took you all back. Him and Camilla had been meeting; they had met prior. So, in a letter that he wrote, we're at the present now, where they are now. He wrote a letter to an unidentified correspondent, and he wrote how awful incompatibility is and how dreadfully destructive it can be for the players in this extraordinary drama. I'm assuming somebody was asking him about his marriage. It has all the ingredients of a Greek tragedy. I never thought it would end up like this. I guess we need to look at what a Greek tragedy is. Let's see if that's a new way to just say I'm unhappy in my marriage. Okay. 1987 to 1992. Remember, in 1987, they had decided to start dating other people. She had a little friend. He had him, Camilla. The next few years, the couple was plagued with rumors of marital trouble. In 1987, Diana decided to decline Charles' offer to join the family on the annual summer trip. This led to the press creating headlines titled "The Royal Break." You can see in their pictures they were not happy. That's why we have her here. She just didn't look happy. In 1988, reporter Georgina Howard wrote, she was the love of the world except for her husband. Now, let's just put that into context there. Everybody loved Diana. She was beautiful. She was graceful. She was a blonde. You know how the world views blondes. And I've seen some pictures of she had some legs on her. So the world loved her. But when she went in the house, she wasn't happy. Because he wasn't happy. Okay. Keep in mind, Diana was in her mid-20s and she was stuck in what should have been a fairy tale marriage, but instead was just an arrangement. Okay? It was an arrangement. It was for the children. Remember what we said about heirs? He needed them, and she could produce them. May 1992, Andrew Morton published Diana, Her True Story, a blistering tell-all of the collapse of the Wells marriage and Charles' relationship with Camilla. Little Miss Camilla. Little Miss Boils, baby. She in the background boiling up. She was boiling up, getting that money, and getting that love, but she didn't have her man because he was somewhere else. So we have to have understanding of her as well. I'm not judging anyone in this situation. Just be in mind, I'm not judging nobody because I'm not married. Okay. He wrote about Diana's in the book. Andrew Morton wrote about Diana's mental health struggles. Remember, we talked about that. That was why I titled it Strength. Don't ever go by just because something looks so great. That lady was strong. Her struggles. Secretly, Diana had given her cooperation with the book being written, even providing Morton with Andrew with audio recording. So she gave him recordings, baby. She like, if you're going to tell a story about me, tell it right. She wanted the story to be told right. In November of 1992, Prince Charles and Prince Diana went on a trip together. They looked miserable together. They were nicknamed the Glums by the British press. December of 1992, the Prime Minister announced to the press, to the House of Commons, that the Prince and Princess of Wales were separating. The decision was mutual, and they both agreed to care for their kids. So the kids were in agreement. The divorce was finalized in August of 1996. Diana received a significant financial settlement, but she was stripped of her title. At that point, do you want a title that's going to remind you of what you've been through? Child, I would have took that title off and gave it to him. He could have had it. Diana had her fun. After divorcing Charles, Diana did date. And she had just ended a 2-year relationship with a surgeon, Hasnat Khan, and was going into the summer single when she first met Dodi, an Egyptian filmmaker, in July of 1997. Look at him. Baby, he following her, honey. Okay. The pair spent time together in the south of France and on a yacht owned by Dodi's father. He was a businessman and the owner of Harrods department store. They started a romance and the media became obsessed. Everywhere they went, these people was being followed by the media. The same way that stars are today, they went through it too. Now we're going to go through a timeline of Diana and Dodi's relationship. Diana began to spend Dodi began to send lavish gifts to the Kensington Palace. So stop sending these men stuff. He was sending her stuff. Diana and Dodi spent the next 6 days sailing in Sardinia aboard Janico, a yacht owned by entrepreneur Basim Hadan. Y'all know I told y'all about these names now. Don't be coming for me about these names. August 7th, 1997, Diana spent time with Dodi in his apartment in London. They was inseparable. You know how when you like somebody, you want to be around, and they was inseparable. You know, after all that she had been through, she had met her somebody. August 10th, 1997, the Sunday Mirror snaps picture of Dodi and Diana kissing. It was a confirmation of their romance. The tabloids wrote, "You only have to look at the sensual body language to know that they have found physical and spiritual fulfillment in each other." So when two people want each other, baby, it can't be hid, okay? So if you with somebody and people don't know y'all together, it's something missing, and it's called energy and chemistry. That's another story for another day. We're getting ready to close out part 2. And we're going to go through in part 3. We're going to just cover the final days of Diana and Dodi. So stay tuned. I love you guys. And we're titling this Strength. God is all through this because she found joy. This is strength. Okay? Sometimes when you go through something, just know that there is a tomorrow and it can be better than yesterday. I love you. Signing off part 2.